Welcome to Raj Malhotra's IS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Prelim Sprint 2022 where we will be discussing the most important topics for cracking UPSC Civil Services Prelims of this year. Starting with today's discussion, it's about international organizations. Part 1 will be discussed today and the subsequent lectures will be taken from tomorrow. A lot of requests have been coming to finish the species part or discuss science and technology topics. So we will be taking all of that one by one. Don't have to worry about anything. So just have a little bit of patience with us. We'll be covering all the topics. So international organizations part 1. Today we'll be discussing 7 organizations. These are NATO, G7, FATF, G20, SAARC, ASEAN and SCO. The first one, which has been mostly in news, is NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO or North Atlantic Treaty is also known as the Washington Treaty. So you have to remember this in case a confusing question is asked. Just remember what is the Washington Treaty. The special part about this treaty is that it was formed after World War II, when Cold War between United States and Russia was going on. So this North Atlantic Treaty Organization was formed. It was decided that 2 member states of North America, that is Canada and USA, this is your North America, and allies, European countries which had good relations with the United Nations, they all came together to form a military alliance. Military alliance बनाया इन सब countries ने मिलके, जिसमें डिसाइड किया गया कि अगर किसी भी एक कंट्री पर थ्रेट आता है, किसी भी एक कंट्री पर कोई और कंट्री, एक्सटर्नल कंट्री, नेटो से बाहर की कंट्री अटैक करती है, तो हम सारी कंट्रीज़ मिलके मिलिटरली उसका सामना करेंगे. सो मिलिट्री क्राइसिस होता है और कोई क्राइसिस होता है, वट एवर क्राइसिस इज़ देयर और मिलिट्री कॉपरेशन इज़ देयर, दे डू इट टुगेदर. एज ऑफ नाउ NATO हैज़ 30 member states, 2 of which are from North America, as I just showed you, Canada and United States of America, and rest 28 are from Europe, and membership is open, like other countries can also get in. This was precisely the reason that Russia attacked Ukraine, because Ukraine was trying to be a part of NATO. So it is about collective security. We've discussed this. The headquarters of NATO are in Brussels, Belgium. Belgium is a neutral country. It is a very peace-loving and a neutral country. It prefers towards taking the world towards a better world order. So its headquarters are located in Brussels in Belgium, and all decisions, whenever you are studying organizations, आप किसी भी organization को study करते हैं तो उसका power structure कैसा है, voting कैसी होती है उसमें, क्या सब countries को एक ही vote मिलता है, या जो countries ज़्यादा पैसे वाली है, are the richer countries getting more share in vote making. So in NATO, all alliance decisions are taken by consensus, with each ally having an equal say. तो अगर यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका बड़ी कंट्री है और एक रिच कंट्री है और ब्राज़ील एक छोटी कंट्री है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि दोनों के वोट्स में डिफरेंस होगा. एवरी कंट्री हैज़ एन इक्वल से इन दैट. The next one is G7. G7, these are the 7 countries जो कि सबसे ज़्यादा रिच हैं वर्ल्ड में IMF के अकॉर्डिंग. They are the richest countries of the world, and the second thing is that they're liberal democracies, representative democracy होती है इनमें. So earlier Russia was a part of G7, but then when it attacked Crimea, it was thrown out of G7. तो G8 होता था एक टाइम में, and रशिया के बाहर जाने की वजह से सिर्फ G7 रह गया. तो ये 7 countries हैं कौन सी? They are represented by this mnemonic JUICE GF. So starting from here, from J we have Japan here, from U we have the United States, from I we have Italy, from C we have Canada, and Germany and France are they stand for GF. So this mnemonic can be used to remember the name of countries. 1971 में जब currency prices कम हो गए थे, it was a shocker for the entire world. Then these capitalist countries, these rich countries decided that we need to have a forum, we need to be together we need to come together to carry out some macro economic activities. तो होता क्या है, जैसे ह्यूमन बींग्स फ्रेंडशिप्स फॉर्म करते हैं वैसे कंट्रीज़ ग्रुपिंग्स फॉर्म करती हैं ताकि उनका जो काम है वो आसान हो सके. सो हर एक इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एक अलग मैंडेट होता है, एक अलग एम या गोल होता है, और एक कंट्री मल्टीपल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का पार्ट होती है. सो G7 इज़ ऑल्सो वन ऑफ देम. इट वॉज अबाउट द to maintain economic stability in these countries. So Genetic Equality Advisory Council और FATF Financial Action Task Force, ये दो ऐसे prominent steps हैं जो G7 ने लिए. G7 carries out its mandate in other activities also apart from economic sphere. So what is GEAC? A question from this particular topic has been asked by UPSC in prelims in 2017. So GEAC is set up by the G7 member states itself. It says it urges the private sector companies को motivate करते हैं कि जो workplace पर जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है उसको कम किया जाए. उसमें कॉपरेशन टू प्रमोट जेंडर इक्वालिटी बाय प्राइवेट सेक्टर कंपनीज टू मोटिवेट दैट. सो द स्पेशल पार्ट अबाउट G7 इज़ कि हर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एक हेडक्वार्टर होता है, एक सेक्रेटेरिएट होता है. G7 has got no secretariat or no headquarters, unlike other bodies such as NATO. This has no legal existence or permanent secretariat or any official members. This year the presidency is held by Germany. Previously, like last year, it was held by UK. So what is the nature of this organization? These countries, these 7 countries only, they make up for 40% of GDP of the world. Yes, that's true. 40% of GDP सिर्फ इन्हीं कंट्रीज से आता है, एंड 10% ऑफ वर्ल्ड पॉपुलेशन. सो कैन यू सी व्हाट इज द skewed division of resources in the world. सिर्फ 10% of world population forms 40% of GDP and that is part of G7. एंड कोई भी बाइंडिंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस नहीं होती है, अनलाइक एज वी सॉ इन यूनाइटेड नेशंस लेक्चर कि सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल बाइंडिंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस या रेजोल्यूशंस पास कर सकता है. G7 ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता. देयर इज़ नो मैंडेट ऑन द मेंबर्स ऑफ G7. The next one is Financial Action Task Force. So Financial Action Task Force was formed by G7 member states. लेकिन G7 member states के अलावा भी बहुत सारी ऐसी countries हैं जो Financial Action Task Force के members हैं. Earlier it was formed, Financial Action Task Force को promote किया गया था, बनाया गया था to prevent money laundering activities. But then slowly it was realized that the organization is functioning very efficiently, so its mandate was increased to fighting terrorism also. And recently, around 2 years back, it released a report on wildlife crime कि कितनी ऐसे आमदनी होती है पूरी दुनिया में जो कि वाइल्ड लाइफ क्राइम्स की वजह से होती है, जो एनिमल्स को हमें प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहिए. वी हैव डन 2 lectures ऑन स्पीशीज ऑलरेडी. सो दो स्पीशीज आर इलीगली ट्रेडेड. सो इट रिलीज्ड अ रिपोर्ट ऑन व्हाट इज़ द अमाउंट ऑफ ट्रेड, कितना ज़्यादा पैसे लोग कमाते हैं ऐसे इलीगल एक्टिविटीज़ से, जानवर illegal wildlife activities carry out करके. So Financial Action Task Force was set up in 1989 by the G7 countries, and Financial Action Task Force का headquarter है, it is there in Paris. Paris में OECD के headquarters है, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. We'll study OECD tomorrow in tomorrow's lecture. So OECD और FATF का जो headquarter है that is same. It has around 39 members which include 5 permanent members of United Nations Security Council. Remember this, 5 permanent members of United Nations Security Council. 2 regional organizations भी इसका part है जो कि Gulf Cooperation Council and European Commission है. And there are other countries. So what are the objectives? As I told you, to set standards and promote effective implementation of legal, regulatory and operational measures for combating money laundering, terrorist financing and other related threats to the integrity of the international financial system. International financial system को जो भी threat हो सकता है, कल को हो सकता है कि FATF bitcoins को भी discuss करने लगे. As of now, there is nothing like that. Cryptocurrency is not a part of like FATF directly, but it does take into account illegal wildlife trade. It takes into account terrorism and money laundering activities. So it is therefore a kind of policy making body with which works to generate the necessary political will. सब countries को इकट्ठे लाते हैं कि हम policies ऐसी बनाएं so that whatever financial systems are there in the world, they are clean. and on the basis of its recommendations many countries carry out national reforms also. National level पर भी बहुत सारी policies countries बनाती हैं. The next part is about terrorist financing. United Nations कुछ groups को terrorist का करार दे देता है. It says that these groups are terrorists. So FATF has got the right to stop their financing. उनके bank accounts freeze किए जा सकते हैं and things can be carried out. The next part is grey list and black list. अगर कोई country अपने nation में, if a country is unable to protect money laundering and terrorist activities, then it is first put into the grey list. This is like a alarm signal for that country that if it does not stop money laundering or terrorist activities in its country, then it will be put into blacklist and काफ़ी सारे sanctions लगते हैं blacklist में जाने के बाद. So blacklist and grey list, if you ever find a statement in UPSC related to this, just remember the name of FATF, and where does FATF come from? It comes from G7. So countries put on grey list that are monitored jurisdictions when it fails to curb terrorism financing, terror financing and money laundering. Pakistan has continuously been on grey list of FATF for a very long time. Myanmar has been there क्योंकि वहाँ की जो military है वो बहुत सारे violent acts carry out कर रही थी. Cambodia, Syria, Yemen, wherever these terrorist activities were being carried out, they were there. Recently, Mauritius को grey list से निकाल दिया गया है. FATF has removed Mauritius from its grey list. Why? What is the reason? Mauritius was the highest contributor of FDI, foreign direct investment, to India. ये क्यों हो रहा था? Because there were many shell companies that were based in Mauritius जो कि money laundering करती थी इंडिया की money को use करके. So and there were many other countries also which were worried about what activities were carried out in Mauritius. Mauritius का जो legal system था, financial system था, वो इतना strong नहीं था. But now Mauritius has said that yes, we have strengthened our legal measures to prevent money laundering, and hence it has been removed from the FATF grey list. Now the next grouping is G20 or group of 20 nations. G stands for group and आगे जितना भी number है, that is the number of nations that it has. In 2020 a question was asked that which are the countries which are a part of G20 in prelims. तो ये कुछ groups होते हैं जिनका अब 20 countries याद करना, remembering 20 countries is a tough task, but if you study it through map or if you study it through the regions, then these questions can be handled. At least आप एक idea तो लगा सकते हैं और सही question, सही answer तक पहुंच सकते हैं. So it is an international forum जो economic stability maintain करने के लिए G7 का mandate था. G20 में industrialized economies आ जाती हैं या emerging economies भी आ जाती हैं. So industrialized and emerging economies are also taken into account. G7 has only rich economies, G20 has emerging economies also, and India is a part of G20. India is a part of FATF also, but India is not a part of G7. So just remember that. There was something proposed called G11 by Donald Trump कि हम G7 का G11 बना देंगे और कुछ 4-5 countries add करके, 4 countries add करके हम लोग G11 बनाएंगे. So India was to become a part of G11, but as of now negotiations are going on and G11 is not in existence. So this is about G20. G20 दो levels पे collaborate करता है. These are the countries, all of these you can, according to the regions, you can read them for yourself by downloading the PDF of this presentation. Quickly we'll go through what is the mandate of this group. See, it acts as a forum for governments and central bank governors. RBI है, RBI is the central bank of our country, and we have finance minister. So इनका जो finance channel है to develop economy, to help currency manipulation को बचाने के लिए, उन सब चीज़ों को रोकने के लिए. So RBI के गवर्नर और हमारे finance minister, they go to this finance channel meetings. So it covers meetings between finance ministers and central bank presidents of all the member countries of G20. The next one is the Sherpas channel. This is for non-financial issues. This is for other policy making issues such as political commitment, the fight against corruption, climate change, things like that. The next one is SAARC, that is South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation. So India is the main member here in SAARC that we see, but SAARC is inactive it has been inactive for the longest possible time. Ever since 2015-16 जब पाकिस्तान में summit होना था उस time से SAARC has been inactive, but to eliminate statements, you'll have to cover this. You need to know what are the member countries here and when was it formed. First of all, it is an economic and political organization of 8 countries in South Asia. As you can see here, all member countries are of South Asia only. So the members are starting from here. Afghanistan is a member, number 1. Second, Pakistan is a member. India is a member, obviously. Nepal is a member. Here Bangladesh is a member. Bhutan is a member. Here down here your Maldives is a member. Sri Lanka is a member. The next organization is SAARC, or South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation. What is it? It is an economic and political organization of 8 countries in South Asia, and India, as you can see, India had the leading role in SAARC क्योंकि India सबसे बड़ी country थी. So it's an economic and political ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कि ये लोग इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट्स पे अपना फाइनेंसेस डिस्कस करने के लिए और पॉलिटिकल पॉलिसीज़ पर उन पर डिस्कशन के लिए इकट्ठे एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनी थी. दिस हैज़ नॉट बीन वेरी मच इन न्यूज़ बट इट हैज़ बीन डॉर्मेंट फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम एंड पॉलिसी मेकिंग यहाँ से ज़्यादा नहीं हो रही है. बट टू एलिमिनेट स्टेटमेंट्स इन प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम सच ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट. सो व्हाट आर द 8 member countries which are in South Asia? Remember this very well. The first one is Afghanistan here. The second one is Pakistan. The third one comes India, obviously. The fourth is Sri Lanka here, India के नीचे. Fifth is Maldives. Don't confuse Maldives with Myanmar. Maldives is the member here. Here we have Nepal. Then we have Bhutan. The 8th one here is Bangladesh. So 8 member countries from South Asia are a part of SAARC. They had objectives कि इधर हम लोग South Asia में फ्री ट्रेड डेवलप करेंगे. फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट साफ्टा वॉज साइंड, साउथ एशियन फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट वॉज साइंड. मैनी अदर रोड एग्रीमेंट्स, रेल एग्रीमेंट्स दे वर साइंड कि ये जो कनेक्टिविटी है, मान लीजिए नेपाल से इंडिया की है या भूटान बांग्लादेश इंडिया की है, ये कनेक्टिविटी इंप्रूव करने के लिए. एंड देर आर मैनी चैलेंजेस. सी व्हेन कंट्रीज आर नेबरिंग, दे हैव अ कॉमन जोग्राफिकल बॉर्डर, तो उनके चैलेंजेस भी ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही होते हैं. तो if they form a group, then those challenges can be handled together. For example, challenge of terrorism, as we see in the case of SAARC, a SAARC member state. So that could be handled together. So this was the mandate of SAARC. These are the broad objectives of SAARC. It was formed by the Kathmandu Declaration. It was formed under the Kathmandu Declaration, and these are the broad areas of cooperation. Agriculture, because all these are agricultural economies mostly. Energy, economic trade, biotechnology, education and culture, poverty alleviation. So whatever common problems are there for all the countries, they are under the areas of cooperation of SAARC. The next one is ASEAN. A few days back we covered the map of Southeast Asia, and whatever countries we discussed, I told you that all these countries are members of ASEAN. So there are 10 member countries in ASEAN, and they can be learnt by this mnemonic called BPL TV Mimics. It's there in the PDF also. So ASEAN की जो countries हैं, basically all these countries, these are very small countries. Again, since they are neighbors, maritime है, तो इनके problems और solutions same होंगे. So they all came together in the previous century, and they decided that we will form a group and we will fight on international level or by through mutual cooperation. हम लोग सब collaborate करेंगे और अपने जो interest है हम लोग internationally convey करेंगे. So earlier ASEAN was formed only to promote economic interest, क्योंकि जो सारी economies थी mostly agriculture based थी. There was no industrialization in these economies. So earlier it was to accelerate economic growth. Its primary objective was through to accelerate economic growth, and through that social progress and cultural development. Culture is a very important part. They have a very डिस्टिंक्ट कल्चर, बहुत ही अलग सा कल्चर है साउथ ईस्ट एशियन नेशंस का, जो कि एशियान के मेंबर्स हैं. सो दे केम टुगेदर टू प्रमोट इकोनॉमी एंड कल्चर. अ सेकेंडरी ऑब्जेक्टिव वाज टू प्रमोट रीजनल पीस एंड स्टेबिलिटी, एंड विद टाइम देयर एजेंडा हैज़ इंक्रीज कि अब हम अपना कल्चर प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे. यू नो, फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमीज आर देयर इन दीज. सो they have given an observer status to United Nations recently, and United Nations has also done the same with ASEAN. Ki ASEAN is also an observer grouping for the United Nations. So this is the flag for ASEAN. ये जो 10 rice stalks हैं, they represent each country. Rice is very much grown there because they are agriculture based economies again. So these 10 rice stalks represent each country. 10 countries are there. Who are the member nations? Again, I'm repeating this. This is TV. BPL TV mimics. So this is the mnemonic here. What are the countries? Here Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam. If you can't locate them, go back to this prelim sprint lecture on Southeast Asia where we have studied mapping of Southeast Asia in detail. It will help you a lot. What is ASEAN plus 3? Now if ASEAN wants to collaborate with neighboring countries, तो वो कुछ ना कुछ नई grouping बना देते हैं. So ASEAN plus 3 was there to collaborate with China, Japan and South Korea. जो चाइना के ईस्ट में कंट्रीज़ हैं, जापान एंड साउथ कोरिया और चाइना को मिलाकर, सो एशियन प्लस 3 बन गया. एंड एशियन प्लस 6 कैसे हुआ? इन 3 में और 3 कंट्रीज ऐड कर दीजिए, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूजीलैंड एंड इंडिया. सो दिस इज एशियन बिकेम एशियन प्लस 6. एंड एशियन प्लस 6 प्लस सम कंट्रीज फॉर्म्ड द पार्ट ऑफ, like they formed RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. So that was it about ASEAN. The last organization is the and one of the most important organizations. India इसका recently कुछ साल पहले ही member बना है और इंडिया के साथ साथ with India, Pakistan also became a member in 2017 only. So that's not long back. ये जो organization है अभी भी progress में है. Every time they are launching some new initiative. So this is very important from examination point of view. This is Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO. Okay, the full form is not written here. I'm writing it for you. It's Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So it is a Eurasian political, economic, military organization जो भी टेररिज्म को फाइट करने के लिए, इकोनॉमिक स्लो डाउन को फाइट करने के लिए, पॉलिटिकल इनिशिएटिव्स नए इंक्रीज करने के लिए जो भी मेजर्स कैरी आउट किए जा सकते हैं यूरेशिया एरिया में, यूरोप प्लस एशिया. सम कंट्रीज आर फ्रॉम यूरोप. As you can see here, India is located here. This part is Asian, that part is Europe. Eurasian Political, Economic and Military Organization which was founded by leaders of China, Kazakhstan. These are the initial leaders. 8 जो leaders leading countries थे. You have to remember these 8 countries also which were the previous ones, which are the founding members of this Shanghai Cooperation Organization. India is also a member, Pakistan is also a member. Observer states हैं, 4 observer states हैं, Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran and Mongolia, and 6 dialogue partners are there. The original purpose of this Shanghai Cooperation Organization was to serve as a counterbalance to NATO. कि जो रिच कंट्रीज़ हैं, जो यूरोप और नॉर्थ अमेरिका की कंट्रीज़ थी, उन्होंने तो नेटो बना दिया था कि अगर किसी भी इफ़ एनी कंट्रीज़ अटैक, नेटो विल कम, अदर कंट्रीज़ विल कम टू देयर रेस्क्यू अंडर द अम्ब्रेला ऑफ नेटो. बट व्हाट अबाउट यूरेशिया? सो टू काउंटर बैलेंस नेटो, this Shanghai Cooperation Organization was formed. Russia and China were the initial founding members of this. So इनकी जो official working languages हैं, they are also Russian and Chinese only. So just keep the power structure in mind, and it was very important for India to be a member of this particular organization because Russia and China both were together and Pakistan was also supposed to be a member very soon. See, there are two things that you have to remember from Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It has 2 sub-organizations which are permanent. The first one is the Secretariat. Secretariat is based in Beijing. It is the main permanent executive body of the SCO. सारे decisions यहीं से आते हैं. And the second one is the Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure which is located in Tashkent. Tashkent में उसके headquarters है. तो anti-terrorism is one of the main mandates of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So they have this separate sub-organization ascribed to it which is headquartered in Tashkent, and it's called Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure. Through your current affairs, if there are any updates that come in the next month for this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, every year, you know, summits are held, some sub-summits are held in India, kuch online summits were organized by India in the past 2 to 3 years. So they have a common mandate, and these are like to promote connectivity, to promote equality, to promote their political interest, to fight against terrorism. That is the main thing. So just keep an eye over all the developments that come in relation to these organizations. This is for the day. These are the organizations part 1. Tomorrow we'll be covering next part of the important organizations, and we'll be finishing everything before prelims is there, in fact many days before prelims, so don't worry, stay tuned, keep working hard, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's the right time now.